Hello everyone friends, this is Kus. With you and often on the stream, people ask, why don't you play Assetto Corsa Competizione anymore? Where has ACC gone? Why have other streamers stopped playing it? And this question is so frequent that I decided to record a separate video and tell you everything. We will also touch on the topics of new simulators, like Le Mans Ultimate, Automobilista 2, talk a bit about ratings. In general, it's like video news, something like that, I don't know. I've never done anything like this before, but maybe you'll like it. Write in the comments with likes and activities. I will understand if you want to see more videos like this, and to immediately answer the question of why I'm sitting in a hat. Why the heck are you sitting in a hat? Guys, I forgot to turn on the heating in advance when I got here, so it's quite chilly in the shack right now. So sorry, I'm sitting in a hat. I'm waiting for it to warm up here. So, the answer to the question, why have many people stopped playing? In the asset of the compensation course, it lies in the fact that the game has simply become boring for everyone. They've been playing it, for 3 to 4 years, and everyone is just tired of it. You might say, oh, tell that to iRacing, which has been around since 2008, but iRacing is constantly updating, and it's not even about the updates. iRacing is a whole ecosystem. There you have ovals, rallycross, GT3, LMP, and formulas, whatever you want. Assetto Corsa Competizione is purely one class of cars, GT3. Yes, they tried to add in there GT4, separate Porsche Cup and some other classes. Have you even seen these races? Well, unless it's some kind of championship event, some kind of multi-class. Yeah, screw it, nobody needed it. Everyone still drove purely in GT3. Many didn't even buy the updates for GT4. And I personally myself, in all the time, I drove GT4 maybe 3 to 4 times. And it doesn't really appeal to anyone. Plus, soon in January or February of next year, in 2025, AC Evo is coming out. And the developers said they will no longer particularly support Assetto Corsa Competizione. They seem to be releasing one last patch, and that's it. But all of this is secondary. I repeat, the most important thing is just the fatigue from the game. Many games have a peak, a heyday, and then online races, simulators, and then they gradually fade, and that's it. Well, exceptions, as I already mentioned, are iRacing, the first Assetto Corsa, but again, why are they exceptions? Because of mods, because you have everything you want. All kinds of classes and a lot of diverse races. So of course they stay afloat. But there is also a second reason why so few people have started playing Assetto Corsa Competizione. It's the recent release of a major update for Automobilista 2, which to be honest, I really like separately. I'll talk a little more about it later. And again, Automobilista 2, yes, it was released. God knows when, just like R-Factor and Le Mans Ultimate. Well, okay, Le Mans Ultimate. It wasn't released that long ago, but all these 3 games, just as they were released, they quickly fizzled out. But now, very serious patches have been rolled out for Automobilista 2 and Le Mans Ultimate, which added a lot to the game. And that's why people immediately started playing them again. And I played them too. I enjoyed both Automobilista and Le Mans Ultimate. But they have their own little issues, and if we talk about those issues, then the video would end up being very long. So, if you want my opinion on Automobilista or Le Mans Ultimate separately, I can do that for you. Not really a review, but just my opinion, because I think it's still a bit early for a review. We need to wait a little longer and then we can make a separate review. In general, write in the comments, give a like. If you're interested, we will continue in this format and I'll make more videos for you. This is just a first trial, a pilot episode, you could say. And by the way, right away, I want to specifically mention that it's very difficult to get someone interested in any simulator. Everyone kept telling me about Car 102, that it's a great simulator, go and try it. I wouldn't budge. Why bother when only 3 colleagues are playing it? So you see, like most people, as long as the online presence is small, I'm not interested. I'm not the kind of person who will play on servers with 5, 10, 15 people. It's a different story when I join and there are 30, 40, 50, or like in Le Mans, 55 people on the server. Oh, that's my choice. The more people there are, the more interesting it is for me. When there are few people, little online presence, I generally try not to play that game much. And I have no interest in it. Many simulators, why do they fade? Why do they die? Because developers drag it out too much. Open beta testing, there's an alpha version, pre-release version. Everything needs to be done well from the start, so that people stay, so that their online presence remains, and not like, we did this, we'll finish it later, people left, and they made a new patch, and people don't really want to return there. So I'm one of those who didn't really want to go to Automobilista 2, but then I watched streams from other people, decided to tried it, and I really liked it. Because, first of all, the most important thing, I'm also tired of these GT3s. These GT3s, GT4s, they're constantly pushing these classes in both ACC and Gran Turismo 7. And they're already getting a bit annoying. Of course, when you just started with sim racing, when you just began racing in simulators, there's a completely different interest. But when you've been playing one game for a long time, racing in the same classes, it starts to get a bit tiresome. So I went into Automobilista 2 and I drove hypercars and the LMP2, the Areca 7 car. Damn, well, it was cool. It's a slightly different experience, completely different sensations because the cars are very fast, very aerodynamic. And I want to say right away, just don't throw crap at me. But damn, it's nothing like that. Forza Motorsport 7. When you don't understand anything, you take an LMP car and it doesn't turn, it skids, and you think, damn it, where's the aerodynamics? Are they going to rush in now? In the comments, they'll say, but you just forgot to apply the settings. What settings are you talking about? Are you kidding me? Even without settings, it's an LMP, it's a hypercar, it should already be turning at insane speeds. That's why I played Automobilista 2 with hypercars and LMPs, and I really enjoyed it because it's very lively, very fast. But that's not even the main thing. And the most important thing is, once again, the great damage system when your wheel can fall off, when your rear wing falls off, when your engine completely breaks down, and you just end up stuck across the track, unable to do anything. And the second point, which also comes from this, is the safety car. How it delivers, guys. You can't imagine exactly. And now with the new simulator coming out, I immediately check if there's a safety car. If not, that's it. Point. Crap. Not a simulator, of course, I'm joking, but the safety car, how much it does for races, I'll tell you. Because I had such a dull race in Automobilista 2. I had a very low split. Because I was constantly getting into some pile-ups messes. In general, the safety rating was bad, and the driver rating wasn't great either. And these were servers where just some crazy guys were racing. Instead of a multi-class, we just had one class of hypercars. And there were 7 of us, 25 minutes driving with 7 people. Can you imagine how dull that is? I was expecting something like this. I tried to cheer people up on the stream, but I knew it was going to be a completely dull endeavor. But how wrong I was, you see, at the beginning. I really flew off somewhere, got overtaken, some things were happening, and it seemed like only the first 5 minutes. The first lap is always interesting, but after 5 minutes, we entered that phase. That phase of a drawn-out race, when everyone spreads out, and even if there were more than 7 of us. The phase of a dull race begins when everyone is spread out, each driving on their own. And it was the same for us. I'm driving and it's just this boring race now. There. Some Russian guy is also stamping out the best laps in first place. I understand he knew I was streaming. Showing off, I won't hesitate to use that word. Exactly showing off, setting the best time, pulling even further ahead. And at some point, you know, indeed, suddenly, bam. Safety car, good evening everyone. I immediately perked up considering that we all gathered the peloton. I saw that guy in first place, our Russian guy who was showing off, and then spun out. He crashed into the wall and either his rear or front wheel came off and that was it. He can't continue driving. He spun out in the middle of the road, the safety car came out, gathered the entire peloton, and the race continued again. And we're back in the fight, you understand? You return to the fight again. And this seemingly dull race with 7 people didn't turn out to be so dull in the end. And this is just one example. That is, the safety car really helps a lot. It allows you to get back in the game. It brings back intrigue. It allows you to somewhere get repaired. That's why I don't like Aerosnick for these things. For the repairs. For its realism, where you know you hit something and you have a 15-minute repair. Well, goodbye. In Automobilista 2, your repairs might take about 20-30 seconds, and you can somehow, well, maybe a bit more, yes, but you can pit under yellow flags under the safety car, get repaired, and return to the race. So the dynamism doesn't disappear. By the way, a small note, a clarification about Automobilista 2. it might be the very Gran Turismo caso for PC. Thanks to Low Fuel Motorsport, this site that hosts various races, it has now integrated Automobilista 2, and there are constantly different races. And in Automobilista 2, there are plenty of different cars. There are even trucks. There are old formulas, some Jeanette, that are DTM class cars. So there's a huge variety. You can organize diverse races, and it's very cool. It doesn't get boring. But I haven't raced in the GT3 class in Automobilista. They say, by the way, it's not implemented very well there. That's regarding this game. Le Mans Ultimate, a new update was recently released. They added GT3 cars, they added their new tracks, and they added feedback modified where when you brake, the ABS activates the steering wheel. This ABS starts pounding on the wheel. This is completely... No, it's realistic, of course, but it's additional information. It's informative. You understand what's happening. You understand that the ABS is activating. Not all of us have. SimuCube pedals for 500,000 rubles, which emulate the real operation, the brake pedal, like ABS. Yes, because, well, okay, I also have vibration motors that vibrate or turn when the ABS activates, but it's all nonsense. Or, of course, I'm talking about the vibration motors, these ones. But here they decided to integrate this feedback, which is cool if only it could be turned off, because some people just dislike it, especially with some cars. For example, on a BMW, it works excessively, too strongly. So they overdid it a little. They overdid it once again with the feedback. And in general, Le Mans Ultimate is a separate topic. I don't understand why they can't make some... With each major update, it changes drastically. Feedback, and there are always people who are for and against. But for some reason, 80% of people say that when the game first came out, the feedback was excellent. Why did you change something? And so I have a question for the developers. Why don't you just set presets in the settings? Feedback, like from this patch, from the previous one, well, different versions, right? Feedback so that you could choose in the settings like it was in Gran Turismo, like it was in Project Cars 2, when you could choose realistic feedback settings. And on the steering wheel, you don't feel anything, but it's like in real life, there's informative feedback, then there's some kind of more or less smoothed out one. So they had different types of feedback, and it was great. Why they make a Lagoon here, I don't know. But I fell in love with the Lagoon, with Ultimate, not because of the GTA 3 patch updates, not because of that feedback, but because I recently participated in a very cool race and I like such races. I would be very happy if the developers continued to introduce such races into the game. That is directly from the game itself. You don't need to look for any servers. You immediately enter the game special event, and there was an event where you drive approximately an hour to 60 cars, 30 hypercars, 30 GT3 cars, and during this hour, the in-game day transitions very smoothly and beautifully. It's as if you are driving a 24-hour race, you see, and it's done so amazingly. Gran Turismo 7 should definitely be making races like this. You know, they absolutely should look and understand why the heck we aren't doing it. Really, they should, indeed. Different times of day in the game. I was driving on the Sartre track in the GT3 class, and damn, it was cool. So it's like that. First of all, there's action initially at the beginning. Then at night, there's a slight bit of a snag. Another one, because it gets a little colder. Then you can quite easily crash. There's somehow some kind of fuel strategy you have to calculate there. Towards the end, it even started to rain. Well, it was really quite fascinating. Indeed, very quite fascinating. And it would have been much more truly fascinating if there had been a safety car, because these hour-long races and the dynamics of these races somewhat fade away. But another reason why I've been actively playing Le Mans Ultimate in recent days is because Kostya Foton rented a server and we raced. There were 51 or 52 of us. We also raced on the Sarda track, also in GT3. But all the cars were GT3 class, and we raced with our own guys, subscribers too, and I was surprised. Meaning this race didn't sign up together with Kostya. I also gathered some people there, promoted it. I said, guys, come on, let's race together. And I said to him, you know, Kostya, well, damn, this is really cool. Something like 60 people in Le Mans with Ultimate. I thought now the server might crash or something else might happen. But it did happen. The time of day got bugged. That is, the time of day wasn't progressing. We were supposed to have a full day cycle in an hour and a half, but in the end, the time stayed at the same level. But nevertheless, There were no lags, everything was stable, everything was neat. Well, of course, there were pileups. I mean, in terms of driving, no one was lagging. It was a very normal, comfortable race, their own race. And this is exactly what is needed. As much as I don't like Le Mans with Ultimate because of the damn policy that they have become very expensive, charging for the game, it is not worth as much as they are asking for it now. Updates there, some DLCs, not at regional prices, but they have their own price tags, also somewhat inflated. But nevertheless, when the opportunity to create your own server appears, the ability to conduct your own races already begins. Some championships, some activity starts in the game. People don't give up. So essentially, the answer to the question, why did people stop playing Assetto Corsa Competizione? Why did I stop playing Assetto Corsa Competizione? Because Le Mans came out, Le Mans fizzled out, and now a patch for Le Mans has been released again, and it seems like the online is holding up, and we immediately grab onto something new, because we are interested in seeing it. And because in Le Mans, you see, you can create your own servers, I think this game will have a life. Plus, there are, well, like 3 classes, LMP, Hypercars, GTA 3, and that's already kind of more interesting. And also Automobilista 2. You see, with this patch, I mean, it came out a long time ago. With this patch, it's just, the game has revived, plus races on the LFM portal. And this is a portal where there's a personal driver rating, where there's a personal safety rating, where you can report people, and where you can climb up the rankings. And essentially, at a high safety rating, people drive quite adequately there. And overall, I enjoyed playing these 2 games. And honestly, I don't really want to return to Assetto Corsa Competizione because, well, it's already worn out. And for me, for example, the collisions and damage in both Le Mans and Automobilista are more appealing. Well, in principle, you see, I want something fresh. Yes, I wanted not to drag out this video, but in the end, I ended up talking about Automobilista and Le Mans. Well, basically, guys, that's my opinion. You might not agree with me. Write in the comments what you think about this topic. Let's discuss. And in general, is it necessary? Do you even need my opinion at all? That's what's interesting. I'm primarily making this video, recording it so that people stop asking why I play so little in CC. On the other hand, maybe someone listens and finds it interesting to hear what I think about this and so on. Maybe I threw in some kind of news. Maybe someone didn't know something. So give me feedback on what you think about this video. And it seems like I should take off my hat. It seems to have gotten warm already, everyone. Thank you for your attention and support for yours for now.